Okay, so here is what the pen tool exercise looks like. The first thing you're going to make sure is that you are on layer 4 up here. If you are, you're just fine. You don't have to mess with anything. If not, come on down here and press like the little box with the plus sign in it. We'll talk more about that next time. The second thing I want you to do is to look over here. Illustrator defaults to a white fill, which is the color within a shape, and a black stroke. So for this guy, you want to make sure that your fill or the white box is blank. And how do we do that? We're going to make sure we're going to go right underneath here to none. So now that white box will have a line through it. Okay. Um, Then we'll go to our pen tool. It looks really, really similar to this guy, but the pen tool is what we need. Okay. We're going to go up here. If you remember in the last tutorial, I talked about how when you make a line segment like this right here, and you're holding down shift, it will lock into 3 positions: vertical, horizontal, and then at a 45-degree angle. Your goal for this is to cover all of the blue lines, so forth. So you'll make your first, I'll delete that. You will make your first anchor on the number 1, right? And again, click on 2. So for every number, that's where you're putting an anchor, and that'll come into play a little bit more on the arcs. Now, I usually don't get it right on the first time, so you can refine your line work by using your direct select tool, the white one. And that way here, I'm going to click on that. Notice that it's now blue, where the rest are now white. I can just slightly adjust some of those things, okay? So again, your goal is to try your best to cover the blue lines. So again, you're putting an anchor where there are numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. I bet you'll do really well on these first 2, but 3 and 4 are a little bit different. Now we're making curves. So in the last tutorial, I talked about how we would hold on to the mouse and then move our cursor to create those shapes. Like for example, like here we got our handlebars. They just simply dictate where our arc will go. And then you can see that there's a natural curve to that line segment. Again, I click down, I'm holding, I'm moving my cursor like that. Okay, so I'm going to delete those guys here. So just like we did before, you're only putting anchors where there are numbers, right? So for this first one, you're going to click here, and then you are holding down your finger on the mouse, and you're taking the handle, and you are going along side that blue line and then let go. Okay, now it has that nice natural curve to it. 2, because 2 is at the top of a circle, what you want to do is a little different than what we did before. So click on the 2 here. And instead of using my handlebars and going towards the outline, I want to go straight out. So, and I never am able to get it on the first try, which means that that's not a big deal. You can always kind of refine your line work as you go. Okay. This one just honestly takes practice. It is tricky, but you'll be able to get it. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape to end that line segment. Again, I can go up to my direct select tool. Here, they're my handlebars, so I can help kind of refine just those little areas so I can cover as much of the blue as possible. Okay, so that's how you do this one. This one down here is a little bit different. Again, I'm going to start with my pen tool, right? Just as I did up here, I'm going to click, hold, and extend my arm up, right? go to the 2. It's the top of a circle. So again, I'm going to want to go straight out. I'm not really worried about hitting that blue line at this point because I can refine it later. Now this one's a little bit tricky, and I always saw people doing kind of like this, because after you have all of these other segments, it kind of naturally goes to curves. So here looking, we'll get a little bit closer, kind of explain what I mean a little bit more. Okay, so here we have a slight curve, but really what we want is a hard edge like this guy. So if you look over here at your tools panel, you'll notice that some of your tools have this little triangle beside them. That means that there is a hidden tool underneath of it. Okay, so again, I'm going to go over here. I notice that I've got a little triangle by it. So I'm going to click and hold down, and then this menu will come up. Here's the guy that you want, the anchor point tool. So for this guy here, because again, we want kind of a sharp edge, right? Not this nice soft curve. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click it and say I wanted the opposite. Say I didn't want this hard edge. I wanted a nice soft curve. In which case I would click, hold, and then extend the handlebars, right? So for this guy, that's what we're looking for, right? That kind of nice edge. And again, moving my handlebars here so I can cover as much of the blue as I possibly can. I advise that if it gets kind of crazy, and it does sometimes, and I'll show you kind of what I mean by that. So go up here, pen tool, and all of a sudden you get a lot of things going on. What I would suggest, just erase, just delete it. Make sure it's highlighted. You're using your select tool to do that, and you're hitting backspace. Now it's gone. Also, another quick helpful hint. Say I liked what I had here, but I just, everything else. I can hit Control Z, and it's going to take away the last thing that I did, right? Continue, Control Z. Very similar to like Word documents as well as Google Docs, all right? So take your time on this one, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.